Hello students, I hope you people are fine and doing good. Today I'll explain you the schools of thought in psychology. Before starting schools of thought, I would explain what actually schools of thought refer to. By around 1900, several systematic positions and schools of thought were become associated ideologically and sometimes geographically with the leader of a movement. Typically, the members of a school of thought share a theoretical or systematic orientation and investigation similar problems. The emergence of various schools of thought and their decline and replacement by others is a striking chapter of the history of psychology. So here are the schools of thought that we will explain one by one. The first one is structuralism. E.P. Titchener agreed with Wundt that psychology should study immediate experience like the consciousness. He defined consciousness as the sum total of mental experience at a given moment. He said that kind is accumulated experiences of a lifetime. Titchener focused on mental elements or contents and their mechanical linking through the process of association. But he discarded Wundt's doctrine of appreciation. So now we will see what was Titchener's view about psychology as a pure science. Titchener was not concerned with applying psychological knowledge. He envisioned it was a pure science. He said psychology was not in the business of curing sick minds or reforming society. Its purpose was to discover the facts of the structure of mind, so basically he relied on introspection. Yet his subjects were rigorously trained to describe the elements of their conscious states. He named it systematic experimental introspection. Titchener's method of introspection was more complicated than Wundt, so in this way he trained his subject in a different way. Let's have a look at the elements of consciousness. So Titchener concluded that the elements processes of consciousness consist of sensation, images, and affections. Basically, sensations are elements of perception, and these occur in the sounds, sights, smells, and other experiences evoked by physical objects in our environment. And the second one is images. There are elements of ideas. They are found in the process that reflects the experience, and the third is affections. So affections are elements of emotions and are found in experiences such as love, hate, and sadness. According to Titchener, sensation and images could vary in terms of quality, intensity, duration, clearness, and extensity. Although the subject matter of structuralism are no longer vital, but the method of introspection is still used in many areas of psychology. So Titchener's study focused on sensation and perception because they were the easiest processes to break down into components like in a study. Titchener trained the subjects and they identified four components of taste, bitter, sweet, salty, and sour. So structuralism provided a strong established orthodoxy against which newly developing movements in psychology could array their forces. Our second school of thought is functionalism. As the name suggests, it is concerned with how the mind functions or how it is used by an organism to adapt to its environment. Functionalism emphasized the functions of mind and behavior in adapting to the environment. So the main theme of functionalism was the person's interactions with environment. Two psychologists who contributed directly to the founding of functionalist school of thought were John Dewy and James Rawland. So the work of William James was the major American precursor of functional psychology, and he was the pioneer of new scientific psychology as it is developed in the United States. James is considered as one of the greatest American psychologists. He wrote the principles of psychology with clarity. He also emphasized non-rational aspects of human nature. James defined psychology as the science of mental life. He states that psychology deals with a personal and immediate consciousness, so introspection must be a basic method. James also described the concept of self and self-esteem. James had a pragmatic approach, so now you will be thinking that what is pragmatic approach? So according to pragmatism, usefulness is the best criterion for determining the validity of an idea. Any belief, thought, or behavior must be judged by its consequences. So now we are discussing the role of John Dewy. He is commonly considered as founder of functionalism, school of thought. Dewey was in view that neither behavior nor conscious experience could be reduced to elements. According to him, dividing behavior into elements was no more justifiable. Dewey claimed that there is a stream of behavior just as a stream of consciousness. He believed that education would be student-oriented rather than subject-oriented. Now we will see the role of James Rawland Angell. He views that the function of consciousness is to improve the organism's adaptive abilities. The goal of psychology is to study how the mind assists the organism in adjusting to its environment. Angell described three major themes of functionalist movement. Number one is functional psychology was interested in mental operations, but mental operations in isolation was of little interest. Number two, functional psychology is the psychology of the fundamental utilities of consciousness. Number three, functional psychology is the psychology of psychophysical relations and is concerned with the total relationship of the organism to its environment. The third school of thought in other also we will learn in my next video, so deal with and take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.